Just over here, we've got some gloves. You're also going to want something to protect your crotch.
With Hong Kong in the midst of a fight for its heart and soul, this military supply store has become a go-to destination for a Canadian we're calling Robbie.
I'm sorry for the disguise.
Robbie says he's never incited violence, but believes he could be arrested anyway just for being on the side of protesters. Aside from his fears of possibly being arrested, there's another, arguably more important reason for the disguise. Many in his family don't agree with him, especially his Chinese-born wife.
We have had some serious arguments. I'd say that we came very close to actually getting a divorce.
He was born in Canada, met his wife at a Canadian university, and then they moved to Hong Kong more than a decade ago.
Ever since the protests started in June, we've just been not just on opposite sides of the fence, but it's like we're worlds apart in what should be done and how to handle it.
So sometimes, without her knowledge, he says he comes to the store to buy survival gear for the protesters so they can stay safe in dangerous situations.
I do try to understand the complex feelings that she must be going through, but on the other hand, I know that if I want to be on the right side of history, I've got to stand with Hong Kong as it struggles to maintain what it has.
There's no way to know how many Canadians living here support the protesters and how many side with the administration and China, but it seems no one remains neutral. Just before Sunday's huge protest, we met up with Canadian Edward Chin.
Just to bring a message to Beijing, actually, that don't use the police as a political means, just to divide Hong Kong people.
He was making signs and preparing to take to the streets.
Danny.
Chin is an author of investment books and he's a recognizable business figure. He used to work for TD Bank. Most business people toe the line so as not to offend China, but not him.
I think we have to go by what we believe in as someone that uphold our freedoms, core values.
Values that include preserving Hong Kong's special one country, two systems status and pushing back against Beijing's purported encroachments on that. These days, he's also giving financial advice to people here worried about what this uncertainty is doing to their investments. His outspokenness has got China's attention. When the VP of Huawei was arrested in Canada and China detained 2 Canadians in response, Chin spoke out loudly for the men's release.
My office was visited by police and also my home. They sent the fire truck, ambulance people and police. They came for intimidation, 8 times totally, 8 times in 2 days, yeah.
But he says the intimidation didn't work. At that big protest, Chin came out and brought his 8-year-old son Nathan with him.
And Nathan has been to 2 or 3 different marches. He knows that democracy doesn't fall into your lap. You have to walk. You don't have to fight, real fight, but you have to have a peaceful demonstration like this.
But the protests haven't all been peaceful. One of the enduring symbols of the unrest has been tear gas. It's been fired, according to police, when aggressive protesters have targeted police stations or metros in many neighborhoods.
There wasn't anything
including near the Kowloon Street, where artist and teacher Rachel Smith lives.
July 14th, there was a lot of protesting and tear gas, so these are all sirens that are happening.
She created these incredible matchboxes as a type of daily diary, each one telling the story of a different event.
First, it was one of the big protests. 2 million people came out on the street, and everybody has a story, and then this piece goes in here, and then you look at it this way. Everything's tense, everything's uncertain, uncomfortable in many ways, but also not unexpected. This has been coming for a very, very long time.
Smith is originally from southwestern Ontario, but she moved here 15 years ago when she married her Hong Kong-born husband. He didn't want to appear on camera himself again out of fear of reprisals. She's taken part in the protests, and though many here will see her as an outsider, she says she feels like it is her fight.
I'm not the right person in the right circumstance. I don't have the right face. I don't have the right place. But it's my fight in that it's my family and it's people that I care about, and it's a city that I've absolutely loved living in for the last 14 years.
She says people in Canada often ask her, is it safe? When will you leave?
If I decide to leave, me with my foreign passport, my husband can come with me, maybe my in-laws. But who else can I take? Can I take all my friends? Can I take along my ex-students? We've got to wait and see what happens. We can't just abandon everything that we've set up here. We can't just abandon our family and our friends.
There is in Hong Kong today a big distrust about the existing political system, as all the rallies and demonstrations show. None of the Canadians we talked to could predict how this ideological battle would end, but all of them felt it was now their cause as well. Chris Brown, CBC News, Hong Kong.
As the push to pick sides intensifies, some Canadians in Hong Kong choose the police. Take Joseph Chan of Toronto. He believes protesters have been crossing the line in clashes, like a recent scene in Hong Kong's Yuen Long station.
They were going into the Yuen Long station, and then they take the banters and then start hitting people, and then start hitting police, everything like that. This is bad. This is not acceptable. I understand why they're doing it, but it's still not acceptable. The law is the law.
There was lots of vandalism and taunts, but it's not clear whether violence happened in Yuen Long like Chan describes. A peaceful demonstration last night ended with a brief but tense standoff. There were no official reports of injuries.